this panel is Hafsah Aliyu. Please put your hands together for Hafsah Aliyu as she comes over. Thank you. She's in red. Please come over. Thank you. And the panelists are Surayyah Ahmad, founding partner, Sabou Capital. Surayyah Ahmad. Thank you. Her appreciation is not loud enough. Are you not? Yes, please. Thank you. And then we have Aminu Bakori. Founder, CEO, Sudo Africa. Aminu Bakori, founder, CEO, Sudo Africa. Thank you, Aminu. And then Honorable Mohammed Bello El-Rufai, member of the House of Representatives, Kaduna North. Okay, I'm told he is no more coming. He was at the last panel. Then the last one panelist is Al-Amin Idris, CEO Interface. Al-Amin Idris, CEO Interface. Quite appropriately, you can see that is a generational panel. Please put your hands together for this generational panel. The future and the way to go. Hafsah Aliyu, moderator for this panel, harnessing digital economy and innovation to boost growth in northern Nigeria. You are all welcome. Before I hand over to the moderator, I'm told that I should advise that we should all move forward to the seats in front so that we can populate the seats in front, and it will be better so that, because we seem to be having empty seats in the front while some people are spread all to the back. Please, let's all move in. You can come in. The only seat you may not want to take should be the front seats. Any other seat, you can sit anywhere, please. Thank you. Let's move. Let's make it quickly so that the panelists can start. Thank you. Can we do that very quickly, please? The gentleman still at the back, please, can you move forward, please? Yes, once again, put your hands together for this panel, Technology, Harnessing Digital Economy and Innovation to Boost Growth in Northern Nigeria. Hafsah Aliyu, over to you. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, esteemed panelists, and honored participants, good afternoon and welcome to the Northern Nigeria Investment and Industrialization Summit 2025. My name is Hafsah Aliyu and I am thrilled to be your moderator on the ICT panel on the topic Harnessing Digital Economy and Innovation to boost growth in northern Nigeria. We don't have a lot of time on our hands, so I'm going to allow the panelists to introduce themselves briefly, then I will ask them their questions so that we'll move through this quickly. So, Ms. Surayyah.
Thank you very much, Hafsah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've had a very long day. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. My name is Surayyah Ahmad. I'm a managing partner at Sabou Capital. Sabou Capital invests in and provides technical assistance to high-growth, small and medium enterprises in secondary cities. I know that can be a mouthful, so to break it down, what we do is we invest in and provide technical assistance to companies in Nigeria outside of Lagos. So for example, a company that we're about to invest in Kaduna State, We could target companies in Akwa Ibom, just outside of Lagos. And then within West and Central Africa, we focus on Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal. Growth. Now, what are the drivers of growth, or basically increase in GDP? There are 3 drivers of growth. One of them is capital. So you can look at land, infrastructure, equipment. The other one is labor, which is a young population that northern Nigeria can boast of. Now, the last one is the technology or innovation multiplier, and that is missing at the moment. So it is not that, sorry, the question is what can we do, right? Yes. It's not that what can we do, it's what must we do to grow. And while we have the 2 growth multipliers at the moment, we would need the last one, and we would need it in a very drastic way for northern Nigeria to even start to catch up with the rest of the country when it comes to growth.
Okay, wow. Thank you for your valuable insight on this. Okay, so Mr. Aminu, please can you introduce yourself, just a brief summary, and then I'll ask you a question before I go back again.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Aminu Bakori. I am the founder and CEO of Sudo Africa. Sudo Africa is a fintech company here in northern Nigeria, started in Kaduna, now in Abuja. We basically provide infrastructure services to other fintechs and other financial institutions around the country. In summary, that's what we do.
Okay. So, how can fintech solution improve payment efficiency in northern Nigeria's industrial value chains? What percentage reduction in transaction costs and will be achieved compared to traditional banking? And how does this impact the competitiveness of northern businesses in national and international markets?
Okay. I don't. Oh, okay. I hope it's much better now. So to answer your question, there are 2 things I need to speak about. The first one is cash flow is king. For any business owner, cash flow is highly important for that business. And you can't have cash flow if money doesn't move around, right? And that's where the fintechs and other financial institutions come into play. The second thing I want to say is, time is money, right? So money is time. So at the end of the day, the faster you have the SMEs or small businesses having access to the funds, makes it a lot easier for them to run their businesses on a day-to-day basis. But traditionally, when you look at the northern part of the country, we are really less privileged, if I can use that word. Think of local governments around the country. Example, mine, I always give example of my own local government. Today in Bakori, we have 0 banking institutions operating in the local government. So for people to have access to financial services, they will need to move to the other local government, which is close to Bakori, to have access to, banking services. Now, flip the, table to where we are today in terms of, fintechs running financial accounts for people around the country. People like MoneyPoint, OPay, and others who provide digital banking services to businesses. It fosters and gives people more access to these services, thereby increasing the availability of the funds to these businesses. So rather than them, waking up in the morning, going to Funtua or maybe to Danja to access, financial services, now they have access to it right there where they are. So your typical Meshai, if I can put it that way, has a bank account and you could transfer directly into that person's account. It increases his ability to instantly be able to now purchase things he needs, as a business owner to, run his day-to-day operations without necessarily, spending a lot of time having access to financial services. The other part of your question on cost implication of all of this is we're significantly seeing a huge drop in transaction fees if you look across board. 2 things I'll speak about is POS transaction fees. From a merchant standpoint, that was 0.5% capped at 2005 before. Today, you have merchants receiving payments, 50 naira, 100 naira per transaction, which is a significant drop in, the cost of transaction. Same thing goes with the normal transfer that we do on a day-to-day basis today. I'm always the advocate of transfer fees will get to zero. We're already seeing it with Sterling Bank today. Sterling is offering free transfers to everybody. So at the end of the day, that's going to happen.
Okay, thank you. And I love your Mishai reference. Mr. Al-Amin, what are the biggest barriers to digital adaptation in northern Nigeria, and how can they be overcome?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Al-Amin Idris. I'm the founder and CEO of Interface. At Interface, what we do is we connect. Sorry, it's okay. At Interface, what we do is we connect. Sorry. Hello? Okay, this is much better. Thank you. So at Interface, what we do is we connect last mile underserved communities to essential services that will help them grow, that will help them thrive, like clean energy and financing. And aptly put, your question, I believe the underlying problem or the underlying product that will help unlock digital economy, especially in northern Nigeria, is access to power. Because without access to power, reliable, clean, affordable electricity, you can't stay connected, you can't collect digital payments, you can't have an online presence, you can't even learn more skills to grow your business. So, and that's why we try to use power as that anchor, whereby we connect you, especially people in the most last mile communities to these service providers that will not just give them energy access, but also financing option based on their income level, income pattern as well, to enable them pay over time. So we work with different segments of the communities. Small petty traders do daily or weekly payment because that's how they make their money. Employees of government or salaried workers do monthly payment because that's how their income flows. Farmers do seasonal, like right now when it's about to be harvest season, and they will have bulk payment to make significant commitment towards their repayment plans. So you see, when homes are connected, when businesses are connected, when communities are connected to power, it just doesn't change their access to economic, them being more economically included, but also socially, the cohesion in the community, the environmental effect of it as well, likewise the safety and all of that. So I might sound like a carpenter whereby I see everything as a nail having a hammer, but I really truly believe access to power is the fundamental, and that's what unlocks it.
Thank you. So, Ms. Surayyah, back to you. What innovative digital solutions or business models can address specific challenges faced by youth and women entrepreneurs in mining, agriculture, and energy in northern Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Hafsah. I want to say I might not answer your question directly. I might use it as an opportunity to answer something else. And I think the reason is because I think we're jumping the wagon when we're talking about innovative technologies that can be used in mining, agriculture, or power. I mean, we can go down the path of saying IoT, geosensing for mining. We can talk about drone irrigation in agriculture, precision farming. We can talk about all the technical stuff. But I think if we go back to the basics, we realize that we have a society that has a massive digital gap, right? So we have a workforce that does not even understand how to leverage the power of digital innovations in their daily lives. talk less of translating it into these sectors. So for me, I think the question would be, how does northern Nigeria, as a region with a massive population, growing at twice the rate of the south, actually groom the current population we have that is in abject poverty to actually become digitally literate? So permit me to reframe the question in that sense, if you would. Thank you. So I think for me, some of the things that come to mind immediately is, what have other people done? So they said if you can't learn from others, then you're not learning. When I look at India, I see a lot of similarities. India has a population of 1.3 billion people that are also very conservative, very rural population. Basically, you can draw a lot of similarities between India and northern Nigeria. So when I think about how India was able to build, go from zero to building a population of over 500 million people that are digitally enabled, literally now when you see an Indian anywhere in the world, they are synonymous to doctors, they are synonymous to engineers, they are synonymous to the best software developers that you can find. So how did an India do this? Right? Can northern Nigeria learn from some of these things to actually groom our young population into becoming digitally enabled? So for me, I look at India's approach as a bottom-up approach. So they started with educating, digitalizing, and then scaling. And that's a framework that perhaps we can adapt. So you would agree with me that at this moment, it's not just about having the highest number of out-of-school children in the country. It's also about the fact that people that actually do have access to education have access to very low-quality education. So you have graduates that cannot type anything on the computer, graduates that cannot use Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel. So we have to start from there, right? The rights that we're giving to people when we go out for campaigns, can we give them laptops instead? You know? Yes. So I think as a region, we need to start to refocus our energy into empowering people rather than feeding people. So again, sorry if I'm hitting some chords, but But I mean, that's the reality, right? If we can give keke peps and sewing machines and grinding machines, then definitely we can afford to give laptops. If we can put people in a room and campaign to them, then we can put people in a room and give them digital skills. And I think that is where we should start from. If you have that cousin, that auntie, that niece that is in school, and you can afford to buy her a small laptop or a smartphone, please buy it and give it to her. Because just by being able to do that, what you've done is you've opened the door of access for somebody. It means they can go online to free website, Harvard, Oxford, they are offering free courses on edX. You can literally learn anything for free now. People just need to be empowered with access. So definitely I would say educate, digitalize, and then scale. So all of those fancy technologies, I think they would come at the end when we have the educated workforce that can actually utilize them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Surayyah. You made a very important point here. So, Mr. Aminu, how can the digital literacy programs be designed and implemented effectively to address the needs of diverse population in northern Nigeria?
I think I will be a little bit biased to answer the question from a financial standpoint because I'm coming from, finance. In all honesty, it doesn't go far away from what Surayyah has said, regarding education. We have to educate our populace, on. I should increase my voice still. Okay, is it much better? Sorry. So it doesn't go far away from what she has said regarding education, right? And for me, I feel we need to localize the education itself towards, our culture, our religion, schematics, to fully understand how we can deliver these messages to, the populace. A typical example I'll give you is I've raised foreign capital, and capital is a different ball game when you come to the northern part of the country, both from an investment angle and also from taking the investment in itself. There's a whole lot of ideas and, things that you hear around raising capital. We are all scared of loans, scared of taking credit. People need to be fully educated on what credit means and what are the, ethical ways of doing things. And for me, I think we are already seeing, a whole lot of progress when it comes to ethical banking, for example. It has been proven by Taj Bank and, all the others that going the ethical way is great. It gives a lot of profit, to the banking institutions and also to the populace. So for me, it's all about education and localizing it and ensuring that our people fully understand these terminologies coming from their own perspective rather than coming from the Western perspective. If I'm raising capital, and I'm calling, safe notes, venture capital, they have no idea what that is. But then, they fully understand what adashi is, they fully understand, other things, and we could fully incorporate those things into our financial spectrum to, deliver these services to them.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Al-Amin. So, Mr. Al-Amin, what solutions or strategies can be employed to improve digital? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. What solutions or strategies can be employed to improve digital connectivity and security in northern Nigeria? And what role can private sector companies like Interface play in driving these efforts?
All right, thank you. So I love data. That's something that's been central around my image. And I feel like everything we do as individuals, as policymakers, as business owners should be data-driven. So any strategy we choose to adopt to increase connectivity, especially to the most underserved, most beyond the great communities, should be data-driven. And one thing we should really invest in, which we lack as a country in general, is the data to make those decisions. So I wouldn't sit here and say I know the answers to what ways to go about connections and how to unlock access to these people for the connectivity, but there are ways to go about it. Number one is to understand, how best do we serve them? What's the kind of demand in places like that, And it might be easy to get it more decentralized, whereby you have products like Starlink now going to places that otherwise having them the interconnected telco systems we currently have wouldn't. But then when they go there, what's the demand like? What then does the offtake of the connection go to? Does it go to just streaming? Does it go to social media scrolling? And if it goes to social media, does this increase their output as a community, as people? All of that have to be measured, and then those will then determine how people, because these things have to be paid for, in essence. Yeah. So those are things that will determine how the connections will get there first, and then how people will pay for them. Because getting them connected is one thing, getting the people to pay for these connections they now have is another thing entirely. So that's secondly. And gladly, my friend here, Aminu, is working on fintech. Another way to go about it is, how do you collect your payments after connecting people? The telcos have made a great stride towards getting people to pay for services they access. Well, sometimes when you reach these communities and you serve them, the other part of it is how do they pay you? How do you collect your money? Even if you do that through agents, You end up aggregating and then deploying. A lot of money gets lost on the way. But the more wallets we have, like individually, whereby people can make their own payments, it then becomes easier for you to not just serve, but also retain value as you serve them, and all that. But then overall, it's about data. Let's understand what kind of people live here, what kind of services do they offer, what kind of services do they consume, what kind of work do they do, what kind of education do they have access to, and how do they intend to get access to other, like what Surayyah mentioned, more open courseware that will get them more productive and then be more affordable, able rather to make payment and also pay for these services they access.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we don't have time and we have to wrap up this conversation right now. I'm sorry. But our panelists here have given us diverse perspectives and expertise on the topic harnessing digital economy and innovation to boost growth across northern Nigeria. Thank you very much once again. I want to express my gratitude to you, our panelists, and our audience for their active participation. I believe the conversations we've had today will undoubtedly shape the future of digital economy in northern Nigeria. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon.
And on that note, we should appreciate the panelists again, the moderator, the panelists. If the cameramen are close by, maybe they want to take some photos. I think the moderator should be in the middle. Thank you. Yes, please. Right. No, not that way. Exactly. Okay. Please appreciate them again. Wonderful panel. Thank you. Our next panel is on solid minerals. Panel 4, solid minerals, with the title Mining for Sustainable Growth in Northern Nigeria. Opportunities, challenges, and pathways to inclusive development. Moderator is Nere Emiko. Please put your hands together for Nere Emiko, Founder, Executive Vice Chairman